A little bit about this masjid and this association, Muslim communities, because you know what, as I said before we went on the break, the first masjid, when I visited South Florida in 1990, the first place I ever gave a Jummah khutbah was at that place. It was a little building on Miami Gardens, and I know I went to Flagler. I did khutbah in Flagler also within that, 1991, 92, the small masjid in Flagler. So tell us about the history when this Muslim Community Association, because you're the president, you're the chairman, and Allah has blessed you to be the dynamic leader to keep things going. Tell us, when did they start?
I believe the masjid, Flagler Masjid, they started approximately 1971. There was most of the Pakistani students came to study here in the late 90s and early 70s, and they start praying in the mosque in the University of Miami.
Right.
And then the number of students grew, so they decided to buy this small house. Now it's called Flagler Masjid.
Okay.
So at that time, there was the only masjid in South Florida after Masjid Ansar. Masjid Ansar is the first masjid, the oldest mosque in South Florida. Then comes in the Flagler Masjid. And then there were so many people coming into Flagler Masjid, they needed a bigger space. And at that time, the community decided to buy a facility in Miami Gardens. It was a small building, but it was a church.
Okay.
Already church, and the community decided to buy that. And I believe it's maybe like 1983, something like that, in that area. And then we start praying in that small building. And from that building, there was more population, more brothers, sisters coming to South Florida. So they decided to build a bigger facility, bigger masjid, next to the small building we have right now.
Right, yeah, and I'm sure that most of our viewers who visit Miami, they definitely would have prayed at Flagler Masjid. Anytime someone visits Miami and they're looking for a masjid in the past 25, 30 years, and they're looking for a masjid, Flagler came up. And that was the masjid that a lot of people will stop by and pray and as they visit South Florida. So you all are the pioneers here in South Florida, alhamdulillah.
Yeah, Flagler Masjid is the second oldest mosque in South Florida after Masjid Ansar. But then comes the Miami Garden Masjid.
Right.
And now in South Florida, this is one of the biggest mosques also. And all the other masajids came after Miami Garden Masjid because population growing and more brothers and sisters coming to South Florida, they needing more masajid, and they start building more to accommodate all the needs. But Miami Garden Masjid is the place where mostly other people went from there and opened other masajid.
And then the population moved into Broward and went up to West Palm and people. So as they moved, they needed the masjid facilities, and many more masajid were built, etc. So you have been one of the founder and pioneer of UHI. Tell our viewers a little bit about UHI.
UHI was founded about 13 years ago. I was not part of the active founders. I came later into the play. It was started with a few Muslim physicians as a volunteer, and there was, I believe, maybe 7 or 9 board members. They started this clinic.
And just for the viewers to know, UHI is a free medical clinic that the Muslims run here in South Florida to serve the community, right?
Yes. Universal Heritage Institute was started by Dr. Tapia. May Allah bless him. And then they started this clinic in Miami Gardens with the board members as a volunteer, dedicated people. And among them, Brother Sayyid Zafar, Brother Sadru Fasihi, Brother Motorwala. There are few, but there are more members also at that time involved with this free clinic. They were running at that time maybe a couple of times a week part-time, and then there was a more need and people are asking more services, and at that point the clinic was started working 5 days a week, and then they brought more members into the board, and I was at that time asked to join the board. So now I am the board member. I also elected recently again the president of the clinic. The clinic is now in a stage that we are very few clinic in South Florida. They are affiliated with the medical colleges. Right now we have affiliation with the FIU Medical College, and we get the students and their teachers to come to the clinic, see the patients, and train the students. We still have voluntary physicians also from our community. They are still serving the clinic. The whole idea is to serve the humanity. It's open for anybody, everybody, and right now our maybe 60% patients come to the clinic are non-Muslims. So we don't ask anybody their religion background. Anybody needed service, they can come, and we believe it's our duty as Muslims to help the humanity. And we are lucky, and we have very dedicated board that oversees the clinic and trying to provide the services free of charge to the needy. And when we thought Obamacare came, we thought we might close the clinic because everybody will get insurance. But since then, we got busier because a lot of people can afford, and a lot of pocket expenses and co-pay. But our census went more than before the Obamacare.
Subhanallah. Wow.
So we are serving more, and now we're serving more non-Muslim patients than our own Muslim patients.
I mean, this is a real blessing for founders like you and leaders like you to have free medical care services that so many non-Muslims can benefit from. That's a real blessing, and that's why, you know, we consider it a blessing to have you with us, so you can share a little bit about this history and these community services, because again, you're one of the senior pioneers here in South Florida, which is of great motivation to our youths and to our viewers worldwide.